The coffee hit his $5,000 suit before Jennifer even registered what happened. She looked up, apology already forming on her lips, and froze. Those eyes. She knew those eyes, but that was impossible. The boy with those eyes used to eat ramen for dinner because it was all he could afford. This man wore cufflinks that probably cost more than her rent. David! The name escaped as barely a whisper. His smile was different now, confident, practiced, but his eyes still crinkled at the corners the same way they had 12 years ago in the college library. "Hey, Jen! Long time." Her phone was still pressed to her ear, the landlord's voice a tinny drone about final notices and eviction dates. She hung up without a word, vaguely aware that her hand was shaking. This was David Park, the scholarship kid she'd shared her lunch with every single day for 2 years. The boy who'd thanked her with quiet dignity for half a turkey sandwich like it was a 5-course meal. Now his name was on the building. "I'm so sorry," she stammered, gesturing at the spreading coffee stain. "I'll pay for the dry cleaning, It's just a suit, Jen." His voice was deeper now, assured. "Do you have a minute to catch up?" She should say yes. She desperately needed to say yes. Instead, she lied. "I can't. I'm sorry. I have to." She watched herself walk away from the only person who might be able to save everything she'd built, and felt like the biggest fool in the world. Hit that like button, and drop a comment telling me what city you're tuning in from and the part that caught your attention. I want to see how far this story travels. Now let's begin. The email arrived at 6:47 a.m. Sender: K. Williams, Executive Assistant to David Park. Jennifer stared at it over lukewarm coffee, her finger hovering between delete and reply. Potential partnership opportunities. Corporate speak for charity. For pity. She shoved her phone away and surveyed her kingdom of beautiful chaos. The youth center's main room buzzed with before-school energy, Marcus teaching chess to twins half his age, Aisha practicing spoken word in the corner, 3 kids arguing over the last working computer. Peeling paint curled from the ceiling like accusations. The AC had died again. On her desk, overdue bills formed a tower of failure. "You're being stupid," her assistant Keisha said, appearing in the doorway. That man could write a check and solve everything. "It's just networking," Jennifer lied, typing a response before she could reconsider. That night, alone, she let herself remember. The library table they'd claimed sophomore year. Her Tupperware container opened between textbooks, David's eyes trained carefully on his laptop screen, pretending not to notice. The turkey sandwich had without question. "Thank you," he'd said quietly, always quietly. "Anytime," she'd replied, like it cost her nothing at all. It had cost her nothing then. Now everything had a price. The cafe was neutral ground, carefully chosen, not too expensive, not too casual. Jennifer arrived early, left late, and still felt unprepared when David walked in wearing jeans and a sweater that probably cost what she made in a month. The first 10 minutes were excruciating. Weather. Traffic. Remember Professor Chen? Then David asked about her life, and she deflected with practiced ease. "What about you? Forbes seems to think you're changing the world." He laughed, and something in it was still the boy from the library. "Forbes didn't see me sleeping in my Honda Civic. 3 failed startups. Eating ketchup packets for dinner. He wasn't performing poverty or fishing for sympathy. Just honest. The breakthrough came from desperation, not genius. And now I have more money than I know what to do with and no idea if people like me or my bank account." She softened despite herself. Started talking about the center, the kids, their stories, the feeling when Aisha nailed a poem or Marcus won a chess tournament. Her hands moved as she spoke, forgetting to be careful. David didn't offer solutions. Didn't mention money. Just listened with the same quiet attention he'd given her turkey sandwiches 12 years ago. Walking home, Jennifer felt something unfamiliar, seen. Across town, David couldn't sleep for thinking about her. "This isn't a donor tour," Jennifer warned when David asked to visit. "I'm not performing poverty for anyone's tax write-off. Just want to see what you've built," he said simply. He arrived in worn jeans and a t-shirt that looked suspiciously new, like he Googled what normal people wore. Marcus challenged him to basketball within 5 minutes. David lost gracefully, helped 2 kids with algebra, and sat cross-legged on the floor while Aisha performed her latest poem about gentrification and belonging. Jennifer watched him fit into her world like he'd always belonged there, and felt something dangerous crack open in her chest. After the kids left, they sat in her cramped office surrounded by organized chaos. David's eyes caught on the paper she tried to bury under grant applications, bright red letters spelling out final notice, eviction, 60 days. Jennifer! Don't! The word came out sharper than she intended. Whatever you're about to say, just don't. I know what you're just. And I can't. She stood, creating distance. I can't be your redemption project, David. I can't be the reason you sleep better at night. The hurt in his eyes was real, but so was hers. He left without another word. The restaurant had cloth napkins and a wine list Jennifer couldn't pronounce. She'd almost canceled 3 times, finger hovering over her phone, pride wrestling with something that felt dangerously like hope. David ordered wine she couldn't afford to reciprocate, made small talk through appetizers she was too anxious to taste. Then, over entrees that cost more than her electric bill, he made his pitch. My foundation will fully fund the center. No strings. You keep complete control. The room tilted. Is that what this has been? Her voice came out cold. You feeling guilty? Paying back the girl who gave you sandwiches? Confusion flickered across his face, then hurt. I'm trying to help. I don't need saving, David. She stood, chair scraping loud in the quiet restaurant. I needed a friend. Maybe I was stupid to think that's what this was. She left before dessert, before tears, before she could take it back. In the parking lot, a memory ambushed her, junior year, 2 guys mocking David's secondhand jacket. Her turning on them, fierce and fearless. He's worth 10 of you. The way he looked at her afterward, like she was the only person in the world. Like maybe she still was. 5 days of silence felt like 5 years. Jennifer buried herself in grant applications that went nowhere, made calls to donors who'd already said no, watched the calendar tick toward eviction with mounting dread. David's email arrived on day 3. I'm sorry if I overstepped. The offer stands if you change your mind. No pressure. No expectations. Just, I care about what you've built. D. She read it a dozen times. Drafted responses she never sent. Deleted it, then recovered it from trash. Across town, David sat through board meetings without hearing a word. His assistant asked twice if he was feeling well. On day 5, Keisha cornered Jennifer in her office. Your pride is going to cost 40 kids their safe space. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. Keisha's voice was gentle but unyielding. You're drowning and someone's throwing you a rope, but you won't grab it because you think you should be able to swim. Jennifer's composure cracked. I don't know how to accept help without feeling like I've failed. Maybe, Keisha said softly, the bravest thing you can do is let someone help you. That night, Jennifer stared at David's email until the words blurred. Her finger hovered over reply. The photo fell out of an old textbook. Jennifer and David at some forgotten campus event, her mid-laugh at something beyond the frame, him looking at her like she'd hung the moon and every star besides. She texted before she could overthink it. Can we talk? They met at their old campus. The library had been renovated, but the quad still smelled like cut grass and possibility. Walking those familiar paths unlocked memories like opening doors, late nights studying for finals, her sliding him the last slice of pizza, his automatic refusal, her insistence until he gave in. Remember the night it rained? David asked suddenly. You invited me in and I said no. I thought you didn't want to. My clothes were soaked. I didn't want to ruin your furniture. His laugh was self-deprecating. God, I was so proud. So stupid. They stopped under an old oak tree, its branches heavy with spring. I had a crush on you, he admitted. The whole time. I knew, she said softly. You, he looked stunned. Then why didn't you? Because you needed a friend, not a girlfriend you'd feel obligated to. The air between them felt charged, fragile. "And now?" he asked. She didn't answer. "Not yet." David kissed her under the oak tree, and for one perfect moment Jennifer let herself kiss him back. Let herself feel wanted and seen and maybe even loved. Then reality crashed in and she pulled away. "I can't do this. Not while I need your money. It'll always feel transactional." His voice was raw, unequal. "So what?" Frustration bled through his careful composure. "We can only be together if you don't need anything from me. That's not how relationships work, Jennifer. People need each other. That's the whole point. This isn't a relationship." She wrapped her arms around herself. I don't know what this is. It's me loving you." The words hung between them, vulnerable and terrifying. "It's me having loved you for 12 years and being too afraid to say it." Her breath caught. "Then I won't fund the center," he said suddenly. "We'll figure something else out together. But I'm not losing you again. Not to your pride, not to my money, not to anything." It was the wrong solution. They both knew it. 40 kids couldn't pay the price for their complicated feelings. But God, it was the right sentiment. Jennifer felt something break open inside her chest. The final eviction notice arrived on a Tuesday. 2 weeks. Jennifer stared at it until the words blurred, until exhaustion turned to numbness, turned to defeat. She tried everything. Called everyone. Begged strangers. The news alert lit up her phone during afternoon tutoring. Tech billionaire David Park announces $500,000 grant to local youth center. Her center. Her name. Without asking. Without permission. She left Keisha in charge and drove to his office building, bypassing security with the kind of rage that makes people step aside. David stood when she burst through his door. "Jennifer! You had no right!" Her voice shook with fury and something dangerously close to tears. "I had every right. You were going to let your pride destroy something beautiful. It's my center. My decision. And those kids." His composure finally cracked. "Is it their decision to lose their home because you're too stubborn to accept help?" The words hit like physical blows. She said things she couldn't take back, called him controlling, accused him of buying her, questioned every moment between them. "Cancel the grant," she demanded. "No." "David." "No." His voice was steel. "Hate me if you want, but I won't let those kids pay for your pride." She left without looking back. Jennifer spent 3 days in crisis. Talked to the kids, to Keisha, to the hollow space inside herself that kept insisting she had to do everything alone. On day 3, Marcus asked why she looked sad. Aisha said the center felt different, scared. And Jennifer realized David was right. Her pride had never been about independence. It was fear. Fear that if she needed someone, they'd see she wasn't as strong as she pretended. Fear that she wasn't worth helping. She found David in his office, looking like he hadn't slept either. "I'm scared," she said without preamble, "that if I accept this, you'll realize I'm not who you remember. That you'll see I'm struggling and small and—" "Human," he interrupted gently. "You gave me lunch every day for 2 years. You never made me feel small. You just saw me." He stood, closed the distance between them. "Let me see you, Jennifer. All of you. The strong parts and the struggling parts." They restructured the grant as a partnership, his foundation funding, her running operations, co-developing programs together. Equal footing. At the reopening celebration, surrounded by kids and laughter and possibility, David pulled her aside. "I've been thinking about what you said, about things feeling unequal." He was nervous, hands in his pockets. "So I have a proposal. I need someone to run my foundation's community programs. Someone who understands what it means to give without expecting anything back. Someone I trust completely. Interested. A job offer. Real salary. Real position." "Is this because—" "It's because you're brilliant," he said firmly. "And yes, because I'm in love with you. But mostly because you're brilliant." 6 months later, the center thrived. Jennifer worked for the foundation but kept her independence. They dated openly, slow, intentional, equal. One quiet evening, David made her lunch, a turkey sandwich, cut diagonally, exactly like she used to make him. "Anytime," she said, echoing words from 12 years ago. "Anytime," he agreed. This time, they were in it together. Thank you for staying until the end. Now go watch the next video.